How's it going, everyone? It's Slater Colt here. I am back again with another vlog. So, last week I had spoken about time investment, who I spent my time into, kind of my return on that, and what I was seeing, in my life. And so this week I want to talk about responsibility, right? So, here I am building a record label with some of my closest friends, people I truly believe in, people who've, been with me through thick and thin here. And, more often than not, we've seen ourselves tap into the unknown, and this unknown can be anywhere from long lines of, hey, what do we do next, to, what's our immediate problem that we're facing and how do we go about solving it? Because we understand what the long term is. Long term is be the greatest creative team that we can possibly be while, climbing the ranks to be number one on the whole planet. There ain't nothing else. Like, if you're in it, what are you really in it for? And for us, it's to be great. And, that greatness, not just be seen, but to also be expounded upon and to inspire others and teach others all around us, right? You can possibly be a part of us and see us from any sort of angle and light. So, one of the things that I've come to terms with and have, realized in my own space here is the fact is we need responsibilities. And it's like, Slater, that's a no-brainer. It's like, yeah, it is. It is a no-brainer. But here we are, right? And so we didn't create Lucid with a set of roles and responsibilities. Saying, hey, you got 4, 6, 8 years, 10 years experience? Cool, come on board. Like, we'll hire you, we'll do da-da-da-da. No, we've built this from the ground up. We've taught ourselves everything we need to know. And we're continuously teaching ourselves what we have yet, to know, and what are things that we need to learn to succeed, both for the artist, the creative team, management, everything, right? So ultimately, what this has kind of provided us, I'd say, is a set of challenges. And so with that, I have some items on the board here, which I will show y'all very, very shortly. What I'm planning on doing today is sit down with my co-managers, right? And we're going to write out a set of responsibilities and expectations for everyone on the team. We can divvy it up from angles, like I said, you have the main artist, right? That's the whole bulk of why we're here. You got management. We also double up as publishers, right? And then you have creative directors, or I'd like to say content aggregators. In this day and age, a lot of artists do not just music, but a lot of things themselves. And so having an assistant there or another brain to bounce things off of really helps them kind of get the ball rolling with what they need to do and where they need to go, right? I'm sure you see my eyes going back and forth. Don't worry about it. I'm still learning how this goes with my phone right in the center. We're working on it, okay? Thank you. So back to the main thing. So what I'm going to do is, as I said, write out all these responsibilities for each person, and nothing more than like 2 or 3 things that they have to do. A finite set of responsibilities. Why? Because we're not getting paid from this. This is our life goal. This is what we're really aiming for to do in life. But ultimately, we have to be, I hate the word realistic. I really do. But you don't want your people burn out, and you got to meet them halfway for where they're at and what they have going on in their life. So in writing out these responsibilities and, having these finite set of things that we, feel and believe are important for us to tackle, we're going to create a set of expectations and standards for our team of greatness, right? Because a lot of the time we may not be able to quite articulate what we're trying to go for, because that's the realm of creativity. And so in us really applying ourselves to see what we can and can't do, we're learning how to articulate. A lot of times it's good to understand what you don't want to do to understand what it is that you do want to do. So in this step of leveling up, the company and understanding what we need to do to, achieve success and get to where we're going to go, I'm going to create a 90-day scenario. I'm going to say a 90-day challenge. None of that. It's 90-day scenario where the team members will have opportunities to exercise their roles and responsibilities. Failure to do so will ultimately result in removal from the team. So those watching this is like, Slater, what do you mean? Aren't you all in it? Da-da. Like, yes, but this is year 4 now. We're continuously growing as a startup, as a company that we've, invested time and money into, and we need to make sure everything is going upwards appropriately. And if not, then we need to reevaluate that. So I say all this to, share with you all who'll be watching this as part of like, my weekly vlog series, as this is week 2 of me doing this. I'm learning to record here, going to learn how to edit. We're using DaVinci Resolve these days. Premiere's a little funky, and I can get into that if, anyone really wants me to. But ultimately, I'm focusing on the artist development, the business development, and the overall aim and drive of Lucid Entertainment. And while we're here to really change the world and inspire everyone who, becomes part of our journey, it starts here today with us. And that's not lost on me. And I know that's not lost on anyone who's part of the team either. With that said, however, life does hit a point where you have to keep going or decide, if you're staying here, what are you staying here for? What are you trying to get out of it? What's your expectation? And I'm fully one to believe in moving through life with no expectation, right? Outcome, this and this and that. But ultimately, in the realm of the world and business and what you're trying to accomplish, you need to set out with a North Star. Without a North Star, you will ultimately hit points of confusion or frustration, right? Because you don't know how you're trying to get there. You don't even know what you're trying to do. So you need to evaluate, and reevaluate again. So thank you guys. I know this wasn't a super crazy, ultra omega thing, but I do know we touched on quite a few topics today. And if there's anything you guys can walk away with, it's I truly believe and fundamentally, lean into that without a set line of roles and responsibilities for you and your team, they'll inevitably lead this will inevitably lead to confusion and frustration, not just for yourself but for your team members as well. They don't know what's required of them, and you haven't even communicated what you want out of them, right? So these are all things that needs to be addressed, that needs to be outlined, and you need to give a time window reasonably for familiarity as well as application and results to all display themselves appropriately, so you can make the informed decision on, hey, is this person a good fit for your team or not? Because ultimately, if you're watching this, I know you want to be a leader. I know you want to be someone that can really sit up high and say, hey, this is what needs to be done, and this is how we're going to get there. And a lot of times, we can get so caught up in how we expect things to go that we're not actually allowing things to go there. So getting out of our own way is rule number 1. And then rule number 2 is, now that we're out of our own way, how can we help those people who are trying to help us? All right. So I just want to thank you guys for tuning in. It's Slater Colt, CEO, manager of Lucid Entertainment. Learn everything one day at a time. And, I really wouldn't have it any other way. It's been, it's a beautiful process and journey. And I'm super excited to just be vlogging all of this, It's awesome. Who knows where it's going to go.